Hi everybody, I just want to do a little excursion this evening out of the office and out of the class, and I want to walk through Dublin City Centre during quarantine, during lockdown, and it's very quiet, so hopefully you might enjoy the tour. Hopefully my battery is okay, and I will try to give a little commentary as well. Okay, so I'll try and turn the screen and hopefully I can. Yes, so let's see. So here we go. I am at Stephen's Green, and people who have been here before will recognise this area. So this is the top of Grafton Street, and I'll try to keep the camera still and steady, and I'll just show you the experience of Dublin. You can see the atmosphere, or the lack of atmosphere, and nobody in the city. So this is the Lewis stop. Normally this is full with people travelling home for work, and right now it's empty. So you can imagine the rest of the city is very, very quiet. So I will walk down Grafton Street and I will go past Trinity College, and after Trinity I will go into Temple Bar, and we can look at Temple Bar because normally Temple Bar is the busy place in the city. And after Temple Bar I will go through O'Connell Street, and we can see O'Connell Street then, which is the principal area. So again, this is coming to Grafton Street, and this is normally our Stephen's Green. This is normally the most important area in Dublin, and usually it's full of people, crowded, busy with people. There's a restaurant closed, a bar closed, shopping centre on the left, normally very, very busy, it's closed. And here you can see Stephen's Green, which is usually a meeting point, a meeting place for everybody, and it's closed as well, so no activity. These shops as well are usually busy, full of people, and today it's quite empty. So this is the top of Stephen's Green, Grafton Street, and you can see the shopping centre. There is nobody here. A few people having a chat with the distance, social distance. So here's Grafton Street, and on the left is the busy area as well, but completely empty at the moment, obviously. It's not too cold, the temperature is okay, and there's one shop that's open, the ice creams, Gino's. The temperature is fine, and it was raining earlier, but it's okay now. A couple of shops open. So a few people walking on the street with a dog and things like that. So you can see different people here, and here you can see the construction. They're removing the lights. So if you're sitting at home, I hope you can enjoy the little tour of Dublin. And you're probably at home as well with your quarantine and lockdown. So this is the Christmas lights. They're removing the Christmas lights after the holidays, and the party is over, Christmas is over, and you can see the streets are completely empty, very, very quiet. So there's one person running. So at the end of this street is the end of Grafton Street and Trinity College. So I will go to Trinity College and show you there's no activity as well. So you can see the construction workers trying to remove the lights. And there's another shop, another Gino's ice cream open. Okay. So look, this is the busy street. This is the principal street in Dublin, and right now it's completely empty. Very dramatic. And on the right, usually there's lots of bars, lots of pubs open and full of people, but today completely empty. And on the left is the same. That's a very popular bar on the right, Brussels, and a hotel at the end, completely empty. So it's crazy, but obviously around Europe it's the same. So you can see the principal shops here, the most important shops, jewellery shop for rings, watches, bracelets, hairdressers, and yes, completely empty. It's very sad, but hopefully in the future, near future, it'll open. This is a cafe on the left, Bewley's. It's one of the most historic cafes in Dublin. It's one of the oldest and most famous, you can see. It's beautiful, but it's closed obviously right now. And some people might recognise some of the area. So yeah, there's just more lanes, more streets, completely empty and very sad. So just before Christmas, it was very busy. The restrictions were opened and eased, and these streets were full, people were shopping. But now the numbers are so high, so everybody had to stop and go home. Okay, on the right we have Marks and Spencer's. That's a very famous department store as well. And on the left we have Brown Thomas. Brown Thomas is one of the most famous shops in Dublin as well, with all the luxurious items and expensive products, clothes. You can see the lights are on, but nobody is home. That's a famous expression in English. And here's Marks and Spencer, so it's a very popular building as well, but unfortunately it's closed. Okay, in 2 minutes I will be at Trinity College, and one of the most famous universities in Dublin. And if you have been to Ireland, I'm sure you know Trinity College and you have visited before. So it's very sad at the moment, it's very empty. Normally here is crowded, full of people, but today it's very, very empty. So even McDonald's, normally McDonald's is always open, but today it's closed. Again, this is another busy street down here. Today it's empty. And here you have a few kids on the bikes. Yep. I hope they don't slip, it's very slippy. So that's the situation. So we'll continue down to Grafton, end of Grafton Street, and we're coming to Trinity College. You can see in the distance, that's Trinity College, the building. And since March, it has been completely closed, unfortunately. So students are working online and everybody is at home. And that's Trinity there, so you can see. And this is a junction that's always very busy as well, but again empty. And there's a couple of bars on the right that are normally open, but today closed. So it's a little break from the teaching. Normally I'm doing Facebook Live for the classes and the teaching, but today it's just a little change to go to the city and have a look. I hope you can appreciate how empty it is. And tomorrow I have a class in the morning with the topic of South Korea, and it'll be another English class tomorrow morning. And Thursday morning I do a Spanish topic, and Friday Japan. I hope you can hear me okay with the volume. My microphone is beside me and my mask is on, but I hope you can hear me okay. So there's the tram, the Lewis, the new construction in Dublin. So you can see these buildings are very old, maybe 200, 300 years old. And this is one of the most important centres of Dublin. That building on the left was the old government building, the old Parliament. So a lot of transport with the bus, the Lewis. Yes, so that building across the road originally was the government building where Parliament was, and I think maybe 100 years ago they moved to a new location. But on my right you can see Trinity College. So obviously it's an impressive building. It is here I think 300-400 years, and it's one of the principal universities in Ireland. Lots of history, lots of stories, and normally full of people. People normally meet at the gates, you can see here, but we've only 2 policemen today, so no activity. And there's Dame Street, usually active, cars, traffic, everything, but today no. And here we have Trinity College. So you can see it's empty. There's the sign. The gates, front gate closed, authorised entry via Nassau Street gate. And at the other gate they have security and restrictions. So now this building originally was the Parliament, but today it's the bank, the central bank. Okay, and this centre, this square, used to be one of the most important areas of Dublin. So now we go further down the road, and this is a hotel famous on the corner, the Weston, kind of orange colour to the building with the lights. And across through this road, at the end of this road, we have O'Connell Street. So we can just see the beautiful building here. Some traffic, but nothing compared to before. There's the Lewis, the transport. Empty, nobody in it. Absolutely empty. So across the road. Okay, so just 1 or 2 minutes and we're at the end of the road and we will reach O'Connell Street. Okay, but before I go to O'Connell Street, I'm going to pass through Temple Bar. So Temple Bar is over here on the right. Okay, so where that bus is, we're going to go left and you'll see Temple Bar. So just you can see the hotel. That's the Weston Hotel. Very famous, very beautiful, but unfortunately it's closed. You can see the main door, it's empty, closed. Okay, so here's Temple Bar on the left. We walk down the street and again, normally this street is full. This street is always active, lots of people, but today it's completely empty. So now we'll turn left and we'll go to Temple Bar. And you might be shocked and surprised because normally this is one of the busiest places in Dublin for parties, for pubs, for meetings, but today it's empty. The shops here, we have a bookmaker. I don't know if you understand in English a bookmaker. In Spanish it's como apostar, and you put the money, so it's a very famous shop. So here's the streets, the small streets of Dublin. And as I said, usually it's very, very busy. And if you've been here before, you'll recognise a lot of the places. And the floor, the ground is very famous, cobblestones, very traditional and very original. So they're here a long time. Like the Hard Rock Cafe on the right, closed. Tesco, closed. This is a famous souvenir shop for all the tourists, and of course it's closed. See the empty lanes, some art on the wall. There's a nice hotel as well on the right, the Morgan, and again no activity. And it's only 8 o'clock, which is very surprising. And this on the left is one of the busiest bars, but today it's empty. And there's a funny man on his bicycle with his horn. So let's see, so this is Temple Bar. This is the centre of Dublin and it's so quiet, nothing is happening. Okay, so lots of art on the wall, you can see that beautiful building, all the graffiti, and it's empty. Very sad. Look, that's one of the busiest bars in Dublin. One of the most famous bars, closed. And in English we say boarded up. So they have a board to completely cover the windows, the doors, because they're totally closed. And you can see the city, probably you recognise some places. Very nice building here with the art and the graffiti. So we continue. And you can see here it's closed. Again, the restaurant. One, I think we have Elephant and Castle, which is quite famous, and closed. So we go here straight for 50 yards and then we turn right and we cross the river. So it's very sad, nobody here. everybody's at home learning English, I think. So the situation here is the numbers of the cases are very, very high. So everybody's in crisis, and everything is closed. We've got level 5 restrictions, and people are at home, work from home, everything is closed. As you can see, this should be the complete centre of Dublin. So now we cross and we go through to the river. So we see some kids walking. So this is a beautiful arch, very nice arch with the green, and we're just coming to the river now. So this river separates Dublin between the north and the south, and this is a very famous bridge. It's called the Halfpenny Bridge, because in the past it was necessary you have to pay half a penny to cross the river, but today it's obviously free. But that's the name of the bridge. It's the Halfpenny Bridge, and we can see the city now across the river. And normally there are some homeless people sitting here, but not today. So it's quite beautiful. You can see the lights, the bridge over there, and in English that's called the quay, Q-U-A-Y, on the left, the quays. Okay, and then I'll turn right, and that's the other end of the city. So empty, no activity, no traffic, even the water is calm and settled. Okay, so we'll go across here, continue across the bridge, the Halfpenny Bridge, and we're coming to the north side of Dublin, and I'm going to walk down O'Connell Street to finish. So I'm going to turn right and walk for maybe 150 yards, and then take a left, and we are on O'Connell Street. And O'Connell Street is one of the biggest streets in Dublin, but today there's lots of shops, restaurants, takeaways. Okay, so here we have the river, and not a lot to see here. So we have 150 yards of no activity really. Closed shops. That's a barber's to cut your hair. That's a shop for cakes and sweets. Closed. Okay, it's 8 o'clock also, but they have been closed for a long time. That is a bakery. You can see the buildings. They're very, very nice and very old, Georgian. We have a bit of traffic, and there's lots of people at home. The lights are on, so let's see. We're maybe 1 minute and we will cross. Yeah, so the buildings are very old Georgian, very dark. Okay, so we're coming to O'Connell Street, and O'Connell Street originally was designed as a shopping street, maybe 300 years ago. But unfortunately it converted into an ordinary street for cars, and today it's one of the busiest streets for cars. But the original idea was for shopping. Okay, so a bit long. We're nearly there. One important hotel here as well. So across the road. Oh. Side streets empty. Very, very quiet. Some nice lions in the hotel. And we have a worker here finishing his job on his way home. Pizza. Okay, so at this junction we take a left and we go to O'Connell Street, and you can see completely empty the roads. completely empty. Another street here, lane, no activity. Starbucks closed. That's one of the most iconic buildings as well. And in the distance, the triangles, that's a financial area of Dublin. And further, you can see the lights very in the distance, the green, that's the convention centre. So here we are on O'Connell Street. This is the principal street in Dublin. You can see some people walking, crossing the street, but really it's nothing compared to normal activity. So I'll walk a little down this street and explain some of the landmarks and talk a little about the street. So this bridge is the biggest bridge in Europe. It's the widest Mas Amplio bridge in Europe. And it's very, very impressive. So here we go. We have a big statue there of Daniel O'Connell, a famous Irish politician. And empty, everything is empty and closed. Very sad. Here we have a bank, but a very pretty building. Very nice. So in about 50 yards to the left, we have the post office, the General Post Office, which is an impressive building. And for the War of Independence, there was fighting at the post office. So you will see now. So this is a busy junction normally, but today it's empty. Okay. So that's called Abbey Street. Nothing happening. Very, very sad. And Easton's here to the left with a clock on the wall. Don't know if you can see, that's a famous shop for books. It's probably the most famous shop. Statue. Okay, so in the distance you can see the post office, the pillars for the post office, and again very, very quiet. Very quiet. Nobody on the streets. So after this, obviously I will go home and do the same as everybody else. So in the distance you can see a big like a bucha, like a needle in the sky, and the light, that is the spire. So it's one of the objects you can see everywhere. This is a statue, famous man Jim Larkin. So that's the post office. Very impressive building. It's there a long time. It's huge. And today they are distributing food and to the poor and to the homeless. They're helping people there to the left. So this object in the middle is called a spire. You can see the light at the top. It's a big, big, big object, and it's very popular for meeting people. And it's an iconic landmark. If you want to meet a friend in Dublin, it's very easy. So you can see main principal building, very famous, the General Post Office, the GPO. And to the left here we have another principal shopping street, but unfortunately today nothing is happening. Okay, so we've come to the end of the little tour in Dublin. I hope you enjoyed watching at home. As you can see, you're not missing anything really, and a lot of people will recognize this final street, Henry Street, just to show you it's completely closed. Okay, so I'll turn the camera. Thank you so much for watching. It's very warm under the mask, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow in the morning for a class for free in relation to South Korea, and we'll talk soon. Thank you so much, and bye bye.